All right, hey everyone, Jeff here at StopThePirates.blogspot.com. It's Friday, 11/25/16, and talking about using a bid bond to pay your charges to stay out of jail. It's not legal advice, obviously, but don't use a bond when you're sentenced to jail. Request a bid bond, and it has the word principal, and basically, I'm the principal, or you are the principal. The straw man is the surety. So put the straw man as the surety and yourself as the principal. Then fill out a performance bond, which is a reassurance bond for the bid bond. And on the reassurance bond, you will put yourself down as the grantor or the reinsurer. The performance bond is $274 to file. You can underwrite the bid bond with a performance bond. If you're in district court, such as a child support type, in the case number, and it will tell you how much your bond is. So use the QSIP number, which is a 9-digit number on the back of your Social Security card. It's in red or blue numbers. Don't let the judges put you in jail. Discharge your debt by yourself. The judges make so much money for you going to jail, and then it gets sold on the stock market. They want to keep you in the system because it makes them money. A lot of people don't know this, that the United States Corporation is in bankruptcy, and you can go all the way back to the War of 1812 when the British troops came down from Canada and took over the White House there and took control of all the sureties, all the bonds and all the security instruments for the United States Corporation. And they installed their banks, basically, which we call our court system. So we're all indebted to this national debt, which is like $20 trillion now. Each one of us owe $150,000 to these pirates. And one way they collect that is they issue this straw man, this exemption account, and then they immediately put it into, they kill it so it's dead, your straw man. It's your name in all capital letters, and that goes into like a probate court. So when somebody dies, like if I were to die, my estate would go into probate, and anybody that it's in probate for a certain amount of time, so anybody that I may have owed money to can go to the courts and say, hey, this guy owed me money, here's my UCC1 financing statement, where am I at in the line to get paid after they add all my shit up and pay you. So it's basically the same thing here with what we're dealing with, of how we operate in commerce in this country and how the court system works. But so when one of their officers charges you, you're guilty. So that means you have to pay, and then they take that to the court and go, okay, this entity, this dead person whose estate is in probate, owes us money. So what are we going to do here? Well, this guy is acting over here as the surety for the securities, so we're going to hold him in one of our warehouses here, and then we're going to issue a default judgment and sell that. So it's just a huge money-making scam. But anyway, that's why all crimes are commercial, and they have a commercial value attached to them. And there's like murder goes for $4 million, I think now, or whatever, if you kill one. And notice that all the plaintiffs in any of these cases is the United States Corporation. So they were harmed. People say, well, where's the injured party? The injured party is the United States Corporation, because they bought you when you were born, and they trained you through their public school system. So you have an economic value to them over your lifetime. And they've issued bonds on that and the amount of money that you're probably going to earn over your lifetime and pay into the collection agency, which is the Internal Revenue Service. And then they issue bonds on that too. So it's just a huge, it's a farming situation. And we can look at ourselves like, I know we're not, but look at ourselves like we're cattle on a farm, or sheep, and we're just being milked or sheared, and what they're taking is our labor over our lifetime, basically. So we as U.S. citizens You don't get to keep any of your labor because you don't own anything. You know, for example, if you look at the deed on your house, if you have it paid off, if you paid the mortgage off, you're still only listed as a tenant. You're not the owner, because if you don't pay your property taxes on that house, the real owner is going to come up and put a foreclosure sign on, which is the state that owns your house. They only let you rent the space to live there as a tenant. So anyway, so you can do some research into I'll leave a link below. I'm going to make this too long, about bid bond, performance bond, and payment bonds. That's what they do when you don't pay discharge the debt. When you go into the court, they issue a bid bond, and that's reinsured by a performance bond, and then underwritten by a payment bond, and then those bonds are sold on the international equities market, stock market, as mortgage-backed securities. So people want to go out. I mean, you can actually, if you have a case number, you can actually call Fidelity and give them the CUSIP number, which is the case number, and they'll pull that up for you and tell you how much it's worth, where it's being sold, who bought it, and they go international with them. So anyway, I'll leave a link to this article. It's very interesting. Please take a look at it, and subscribe and like if you want, and go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com. Thanks.